Climate volatility has left communities that rely on rain-fed agriculture increasingly vulnerable to food shortages. Irrigation is vital for achieving food security and improving livelihoods, and nowhere is this more evident than at the Negomo irrigation scheme in Zimbabwe's Mazowe district. CGTN's Farai Mwakutuya has more.
Negomo Dam in Zimbabwe's Mazowe district, 90 kilometers from the capital, Harare, was built in 1996, 4 years after one of the most devastating droughts in the country's history. Water pumped here irrigates a sprawling 357-hectare irrigation scheme that's kept its 296 members perennially active. One of them is BARNABAS GWARA, who's growing a variety of valuable horticultural crops.
We have a variety of healthy food. Each farmer has 1 to 2 hectares of land, and we grow green maize, sweet potatoes, beans, peas, and citrus.
The availability of water has had a transformative impact on the quality of life here and has allowed farmers to diversify from seasonal crops to high-value produce that permanently keeps their fields green.
Before the irrigation was installed, we used to focus solely on maize and a bit of cotton, but we have now discovered that these horticultural crops are more viable and faster yielding, so we are always putting money in our pockets throughout the year. They have also improved our health and nutrition because we are now eating foods we never used to, like peas.
The scheme has been an oasis amidst scarcity in the hard-hit hinterland.
This scheme is impacting this whole region because we employ people from surrounding communities that are not part of the scheme to work for us in return for the food we farm.
Produce grown here is finding its way to markets far and wide. When we met one of the scheme members, DZUMBUNU, she was packing an order of 50 dozen green mealy cobs destined for the capital, Harare, some 90 kilometers away.
It's attractive for traders to come and buy from us because we give them a good price but still make a profit. Irrigation has been beneficial for us because we can afford to take care of our families and send our children to school. We used to take farming lightly, but we have learned that it is a business that we should take seriously.
But the source of their thriving livelihoods has not been spared from the risks posed by the volatile weather. Negomo Dam's capacity is 5 million cubic meters. However, the emergence of those dry outcrops indicates that it's well below that level, and that has farmers here worried. 2 successive drought years have shrunk water to a precarious low, forcing the scheme's leadership to resort to rationing.
We are now watering the fields 5 days a week between 5 p.m. and 4 a.m. Fortunately, we are in winter and there is less moisture stress on the crops, but we may have to adjust the schedule in the coming months when it gets warmer because the plants will require more water.
The chairperson is confident that they will pull through unless there's another drought, a fear that highlights just how important irrigation is for a nation yet to fully harness its water resources.
The potential for irrigation in this country is about 1.5 to 2 million hectares. But that has been the case since 1980. Nothing much has changed. We only utilize about 206,000 hectares for irrigation purposes across all our agricultural farming systems, which means that we are losing a lot of opportunities, so probably 75% of the irrigation potential is not being utilized. So why is it like that? Irrigation is it's very complex. It costs a lot of money in terms of infrastructural development. It costs a lot of money in terms of management, and it requires the appropriate right skills.
The government set aside about $300,000 for irrigation expansion in 2020, an amount it acknowledges is inadequate and so has called on partners to help shore up the infrastructure that will ensure that whether it rains or not, those working the land can still get something out of it. Farai Mwakutuya, CGTN, Mazowe, Zimbabwe.